It's so bad. This is why people are supposed to use props, and this is why they don't. They're too lazy to get them, and I'm being too lazy to get them right now because they're in my car. But I have other props, so I'm going to use other things. Sorry, that was a whole conversation that didn't have any premise to it. I always use blocks. Lately, I've been using pillows because they're helpful for my hands and my knees, so I guess I'll just use them. So, 2 classes in less than a week. What? I know. It's the only way I'll do yoga too. So, here's some yoga for you, so I can do some yoga too. I'm sure Trinity is going to pop in at some point. As far as props, if you do have a pillow or a block or something a little squishy, it's going to be for some balance work. And if you don't have it, don't worry about it because it totally works without anything. It just gives it a little something extra. So, not going to do too much breath work to start before. Just going to kind of get into the movement with it. So, I'm putting the pillows under both knees. Eventually, I'm going to ask you to put it under one. That's for the balance part. I'm just doing both right now for myself because it's more comfortable. So, coming into hands and knees, and if you need a moment just to sit first, feel free to hit stop, take a second, just sit, do a little neck rolls, maybe just a moment of meditation. I'll do a meditation more towards the end. I just want to get moving before my enthusiasm wanes. So here, round your spine to the sky, and then drop your belly, lift your heart, lift your tail. Coil in and up, feel yourself spread your shoulder blades, and then reach your chest forward. And if it's comfortable, walk your arms down, either coming into puppy pose or child's pose, just meaning hips high or low. And give it a breath here. And then on your in-breath, just let yourself come back up. Walk your hands back to your knees, which is why I wanted them under both knees. And just let one arm come down, other arm up and over. Ooh, hair clip. And then let yourself bring to the other side. So left arm down, right arm up and over. And then come on into the center. Lift your heart. Just take a moment, a little bit of a back bend. Maybe keep a slight tuck of the chin, Jaladhara Bandha. And then use your in-breath to pull you back up. For a moment, hands down. And then just down dog. Just a moment to get your legs up off the floor. Walk out your legs a little bit or just shift your hips side to side, whatever feels better for you. And then shifting back to hands and knees. Now here is where you just want the one pillow. So putting something under your left knee just for a little bit of height. And then we're going to take ourselves and extend the right leg behind. Right now my left toes are going to stay on the floor because that's going to help me with my balance. And then you might reach your left arm forward. Now, I could touch the wall. I'm going to try not to, but I might. And then pick up your right foot. You're already going to start to feel some stuff in your belly, but then eventually pick up your left foot. And what's cool about it is really my core is going crazy, even though I'm wearing very baggy clothes and you can't see it, but that's okay. I mean, you could even take your arm behind your back, out to the side, right leg out to the side. I totally stole this from my friend Dee. Hi Dee. I'm not sure where she got it from or if she just came up with it because she's brilliant, but either way, I like it. Trust me, you'll be happy I'm talking this long when you're actually doing it if you're not, because it's terrible. And then if you want, you reach back for your right foot and maybe give a little lift to your chest. And then exhale, let yourself swing the right leg forward. And now put it on the ground. So now it'll be just stability for your left shin, some cushion. And then flex and point. You can let yourself kind of rock your hips from side to side. I always like to do the outer hip IT band, so kind of walking around to the side. And then coming into the center, just take a moment, bend into your knee, and just sink into your hips. So especially if there was a lot going on in your belly, it might feel nice to stretch your hip flexor here. Now, I usually encourage people to keep kind of square, but I'm feeling the urge to open up. So if you feel that kind of space, just let yourself move in a way that feels good for you. I think the interesting thing is when you're inhale, come on up and then let your hands come down, pull back and lengthen your leg again. Sometimes I feel like when you're being told to do something, you do it without thinking. And guilty, but here, if you're moving in ways that might be different, just think about it first and see how it feels as you're doing it. So shift into your right knee. Just bringing your right leg back to meet the left. Curl your toes under. Lift your hips. Walk your hands back to your feet. Oh good, I'm still in the shot. Inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky. And then just exhale, hands into the heart. Inhale, sweep your arms high. Exhale, right arm down, left arm up and over. Inhale, come on up to the center. Just changing sides. I just realized I have two Durgas on the same altar. Feels like they should be in two different places. Inhale, come back up to the sky. Durga's my girl. Exhale and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, letting yourself drop your shins. Walk your hands forward. And now this time, if you were just using the one pillow or one thing, you would put it under your right leg. Extend your left leg behind you, and you might keep the right toes and left toes on the floor for a moment. Reach your right arm forward, and then eventually pick up the left leg, and then eventually pick up the right toes. And then just letting yourself kind of play with the balance. Yeah, if it's too much pressure on your wrist, keep both hands down. It's still gonna work. You're still gonna have plenty going on through your core. It just changes it a little bit. It goes more through your oblique when the opposite arm is lifted. Again, any movement off center, extending a leg to the side, arm to the side. Trust me, it's not easy to talk while you're doing this. And then maybe reach back for your left foot. Give it another breath. And then letting yourself draw your left foot forward. You might land in the lunge, but then pull back and lengthen to half splits. Now, this is where if I had my blocks, I would definitely be using them, but I can kind of use my pillows here. So walking your hands around to the right. Sorry, I'm distracted by my altars because I feel like I need to change them because there's actually another one over in the other corner, but you can't see everybody necessarily. I'll talk more about who's on them later. My brain's not there today. And then come on into the center, sink in. Take a moment if you'd like to open up your left knee, just a moment to kind of give yourself the space, square off the hips a little bit. I kind of felt like I wanted to do something different on this side, but eventually dropping, stretching the front of your right quad, maybe opening up the chest, and then come back to the center. I'm laughing because in one of my other videos, you can bring your left leg back, take a moment, press back to down dog. In one of my other videos, my mom, hi mom, if you're watching, thought my bookshelf was empty to-go containers because apparently she thinks I eat out a lot. I do. And then walk your hands back to your feet. I'm gonna move the pillows for now. Inhale, come all the way up to stand, and then exhale, hands into the heart center. So here, just gonna come into a little bit of bigger movement, but the foundation is very similar, so feel free to stay closer to the floor if you'd like. Just listen to the basic guidance and don't worry about what you see. Inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift is gaze forward, walking yourself out towards plank. And then I've been doing my transition in a slightly different order than traditional. Curl your toes under, my feet are staying under. Drop your hips and lift your heart. But notice I'm not sagging into my shoulders. I'm still pushing chest forward, making my legs strong. And then I dip to chaturanga. It is to build strength, but it's also, it just feels better in my shoulders these days. Now I'm working on keeping my knees up. That's not happening yet. Apparently I need to vacuum. And then push straight back up. Downward facing dog. Take an inhale, bring your right leg up to the sky. And then just step your right foot forward, warrior two. I don't know if you can see how dirty my mat is, but if you can, please don't judge. Reverse your warrior. Come on up and over. I like to keep my mat seasoned. And then come up and over into side angle. Now here, just let your left hand kind of swoop down by your side, swing your hips back, and then just pull everything way back into the center line. And then lean back. And you can move your arm, you can move your gaze. If you feel more comfortable just keeping your gaze steady, that'll help with your balance if you're having a bit of a day. And then inhale, left arm up and over your left ear, and then maybe float your right arm off to the side. That's just gonna get a little bit more, again, into those obliques. There's a little theme today. And then pull back, coming into warrior two. Lengthen your right leg and just turn your right toes in. Now, if you'd like to clasp your hands behind your back, go ahead. Sometimes it works for me, depends on the day. And then forward fold. Yep, apparently not today. And then you can let your arms drop to the ground, or if you are holding on, reaching back, using a strap here would be really good if you wanted that extra grip. And then inhale, just take a halfway lift. Come back over your right leg, the front of the mat, lower your left shin, and then pull back and lengthen your right leg. Now we're gonna come back to a seat. If for any reason this knee doesn't seem like this is a good transition, just let yourself roll to the side. Don't do something weird to sacrifice your knee. Don't sacrifice your knee to do something, whatever, you know what I meant. And then come down to your bum. Slide your left foot out so it's more like tree. And you could be sitting up on something if you wanted for some height. Reach up to the sky and then forward fold. Now you could still be in a half split here if you'd like. This was just a way to deepen the hamstring opening. And I'm also trying to do a little therapy on my knee. This is the surgical side. So I'm not saying this is particularly comfortable for me right now, but I know it's space I need. I'm not hurting myself. Now keep your left arm forward, maybe taking your right arm behind you. Yeah, there's Sita and Ram over there. Two Durgas. Oh no, that's not Durga, that's Kali. Yeah, Kali and Durga can hang out. They're sisters. So. And then let your right hand come forward. Vishnu, Ganesha, Hanuman. Yeah, they're all Hindu deities, murtis, little representations of different energetic paths in Hindi and India. And then let yourself fold forward a little more. Now inhale, come on up. Now, if the transition I'm going to say again is not a good choice for your body, listen to what your body needs. You're going to take your left foot and place it on the floor. I know this is going to be ugly, so I'm expecting that. What I'm planning on doing is I'm going to push into my left leg to shift into my right leg and end up back in the lunge. Sound effects necessary, side turns necessary, and then I'm back where I started from. That used to look a lot different. Inhale, come on up to the sky. We're working on it. Both arms high. Now exhale, let your hands come down to the mat. Take hands and knees with your right leg floating behind you, and then just let it drop behind. Open your left arm, right arm up overhead. Just a big side body stretch. And then when you come back and around, just pull your right knee into your belly, curl your left toes under, down dog, and then extend your leg up to the sky. Let both feet lower down to the floor. Now you can totally chill. Stay still for a second or slide to plank. You can do chaturanga first if you wish. I'm going to do my variation. Upward facing dog first with my toes curled under. Dropping my knees for my chaturanga. Now I'm picking up through my belly a little bit so I don't drop my hips to the ground first. You could do a little cobra here if you wanted a little something extra. And then sink in, reverse the push-up, eventually with my knees up, and then up and back, downward facing dog. Ground into your right foot, take your left leg up to the sky. Step your left foot forward so you're in that warrior two shape. Good. And then from here again, just let your shoulders relax a little bit. You can reverse your warrior, climb up and back. And then coming up and over into side angle. I'm just going to move again. Inhale, climb up and back. And then up and over into side angle, Parsva Konasana. One more time, reverse your warrior. If it feels good, maybe take an extra pause, sink in. And then coming into the side angle shape, and then here, we'll pause for a moment. So letting your arm come down by your side, kind of swing your hips back, and then just pull yourself back up into the center line. And then swing back, and then draw yourself into the center. Last time, let yourself swing back. Now, as you reach your right arm up overhead, you can stay like that, or perhaps reach out through your left arm, just giving yourself that little extra lift through your belly, trying to keep your ribs nice and long. And then inhale, just pull back up to warrior two. Lengthen your left leg and then turn your toes in, and then forward fold. Just bow down. Giving yourself a chance to bend one knee and then the other. Just a little shift from side to side. And then eventually giving yourself a chance to kind of bend the right knee, look over towards the left foot, and then just walk back towards your front leg. Now from here, we're gonna pull back. Again, this is where we're gonna sit down. So if you needed to, you could totally just pick up your back leg, kick it forward. You know, make sure you're not rolling over your kneecap or something like that. The hard part is if you don't even know that's happening, you find out eventually the hard way. So just think about your transitions. And then fold forward over your left leg. Giving yourself a couple breaths. If you'd like, just trying to keep the cleavage in, you can open up, coming into a twist. I put this on for my mom. Hi Mom, if you're watching. And I realized I can put on closed captions on myself. Forward fold. And it's very interesting to actually see on the screen all the things I'm usually mumbling in between the cues, in the stories I tell and the silly things I say. I'm sorry if I'm annoying, but apparently I must be doing something kind of okay because people come to my class. Anyway, give it another breath. Now, again, we're going to end up back in the lunge. So if you need to just kind of swing this back leg back, we're just going to end up coming into the lunge back over your left leg. So you could just kind of swing your right leg back, stand up, or the intention, which I might be able to do on this side, I don't know yet. Come on up. At least it can stay forward. And then step your right leg back. And then just take a moment coming into the lunge. And then hands down. I'm saying hands and knees. It could totally be down dog, taking your left leg to the sky. If you want, stretching it behind you, maybe reaching your left arm up and over. A little stretch for the obliques after the work in the obliques. And then coming back and around. Now, downward facing dog, panting. Walk your hands to your feet. Come all the way up to standing. And then exhale, hands into your heart. Now, the second half of this was just because I just want to play. I haven't done anything like this in a really long time, and I hope I don't regret it later because my thumbs are a little sore. But I'm going to play with the wall. So that's why I position my mat this way. So if you're not in the mood, you could always put your feet up on a couch or something, but you could stay in down dog too. So coming down, feet are going to be right up against the wall. I can guarantee you're always going to feel like you're a little bit too close, probably just because your hamstrings might be tight. So think of it as shoulders over your wrist, feet maybe touching the wall. It will depend on your arm length or leg length. You might have to shift, but when you start to lift, and like right now, this is a big stretch for my calves, and then eventually one foot, one foot to the wall, and then the other. You're trying to be in an inverted L, which is a little bit of an arch to my back, but it actually feels good for me at the moment. It's a good stretch. But if you feel like you have to keep walking your hands forward, bend your knees instead. And that way your arms will be staying with your shoulders more over your wrists. So here, take a breath, let yourself come down. And then unwind, you can roll out your wrists. What I see sometimes in class when people don't know that, and in case you're home doing this, I want you to know, that sometimes people will have their arms so far forward that they end up kind of like in a plank, which, hey, you can do this if you want. It's terrible, but it's not what I'm intending. I'm intending you more to feel that inverted feeling. Okay, so next part, maybe rolling out your wrists. I'm not sure how much more of this I'm going to do. Now, you could do it on your forearms. Actually, I'm going to switch to forearms. So if you want to, what I like to do, when I come to my forearms, same general positioning, you're going to feel a little bit more compressed, so you might have to bend your knees more. And then interlacing your hands, if you have any instability or just questionable shoulder stuff going on, it'll give you more strength. And then you can press into dolphin. And if you're already like, whoa, this is wicked hard, don't put your feet on the wall. Be nice to yourself. But letting one foot and then the other come up. So we're still trying to be in the inverted L. So I can see myself so I can lower. So lowering my feet a little bit. Now, from here, you're just going to take one leg and then just drop it towards the center of the room. Now, I want to be really specific. I'm not pushing my foot away from the wall. I'm keeping my foot on the wall intentionally so I don't flip over. I'm not going to turn my head in this position. And then just bring your left foot back to the wall or whatever leg you took off. Extend your right leg. If you need a moment to pause, go ahead. I actually see personally, I feel much stronger here on my forearms because my wrists are the problems, not my shoulders, not my strength. Give it another breath. And then just easy, you can let both hands, both feet come down. It might feel nice just to do embryo, child's pose with your hands by your feet, or just something casual, just relax for a sec. And then here, we're gonna come up. Now, you can say no anytime you want to. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say, because that's not appropriate. But, I'm gonna kick up this way. But what I'd like you to think about, and truly, if you've never done this before, just stop moving and watch for a sec, and then you can always reset and go back again. I'm not necessarily trying to get both legs to the wall. The wall is just there to prevent me from flipping over. So taking one leg really high, and instead of trying to kick the right foot up to meet the left foot, just taking little pops with your foot coming in towards your body. Now, it may not be as quiet as mine is right now, and I'm not bragging, I'm quite surprised myself. But that's because I'm using those oblique muscles, the abdominal muscles that we've been working on. So then, I'm trying a couple with the other side, because whether or not we do it intentionally, we pick our favorite side first, which is why I didn't specify which side. And I definitely did my favorite side first, because that second side was scary as heck. That'll happen too. Now, roll out your wrists. If you want to put a little more enthusiasm to get yourself to the wall, that's fine. But what happens when you're upside down like that, you'll have an arch in your back. And to actually, truly stay, you want to pull it back. Now, what you can do to help that is to push one foot in the wall. And actually, that just reminded me. The other thing to think about, if you look at your hand, and like if I make my hands flat, see how my fingers actually flare back. If I'm doing that, my hands are on the ground, I'm gonna roll over my hands. So if you actually get a little grip with your fingertips are your brakes. So same thing if you're jumping from down dog to the top of the mat or anything like that. So here, a little bit of fingertips, looking forward, and then kicking up a little bit firmer, surprisingly, but see how there's so much arch in my back? So here is where if you place one foot on the wall and bring your other leg straight up, it'll help take the arch out, and sometimes it gets the other foot to come off the wall. Hey, and sometimes you come right back down again. That was exciting. I haven't done a handstand in a really long time. Okay, so rolling out your wrists. So I admit, this was for me. I'm gonna post it, but it was because I wanted to get myself to try, because I've been terrified. I've convinced myself I can't do anything anymore, so I don't try anymore. I'm trying. I'm not going to be dumb, but I'm going to try. Not to be dumb. Okay, so now, trying the other leg, I think. I forgot which leg it was. That's the leg I like. This is the leg I don't like. Scared. Yep, and you know what? So this is where the ego has to come into play. I can tell my body doesn't want to do that. And it's not because I'm telling myself I don't want to. I'm tired and I'm getting a little scared. So instead of trying to do it on my hands, I'm going to try forearms. If that doesn't work out, it's out. So forearms down. So same concept though. If you kick up, see, I switch legs. Stinker. So whatever. So I'm really pushing the floor away. You can keep looking forward, but I'm going to let my head hang. And then again, push one foot on the wall, other leg up to the sky, take the arch out of your back. Maybe both legs come up. Yeah, and then eventually coming down. Take a moment to pause. You might just let your shoulders rest. And then here, inhale, come on up. I'm gonna do one last thing, just because I think it'll feel good to stretch the obliques too. So, taking the legs wide. Now, I like the straddle shape. My hips enjoy it. So, I'm gonna keep both legs long. If you wanna keep one leg bent in, keep the right leg bent in first. Meaning, like this. Because we're gonna side bend over the left leg. So, letting your left hand come down, right arm just reaches up and over. And what I'd like you to think about here is almost like if you were standing up in triangle, keep your chest open. If that means you bring your right hand behind your head, awesome. Don't worry about your foot so much. If you catch it, great. As my friend Coral would say though, don't let the bind stop you. Because notice here, like some days I can roll this open, but right now I totally can't. But here, that's the space you want. One more breath. Now inhale, come on up. Take a pause in the middle. And then if you need to relax your legs or anything, of course, you always can. Right hand's gonna move a little more towards your left. Let the left arm reach up and over. Just think about opening up to your ribs. You can kind of lean back. You might even use your right hand to help you open up. My left sits bone is definitely not on the ground right now. I know technically I want it to be, but at the moment it just feels good to stretch, so I'm not worried about traditional alignment per se. Sometimes you just, all the time, you should just let your body do what it wants to do in the pose. Let the pose fit your body. Don't try to make your body fit what the traditional pose is. Give it another breath, chest open, maybe even reaching the arm away. It just feels good on my neck because I sleep on this side of my head. Ugh. I'm feeling the 3 cups of coffee I had, unfortunately. And then inhale, come on up to the center. Ooh, there's a lot of space there. And then here, use your hands and guide your feet together. And then bound angle. And now again, this is a very comfortable position for me. So you might play with feet close. You might play with feet further away. Sometimes it's nice to elevate your feet. Sometimes it's better to elevate your bum. But my whole thought right now is just to help kind of unwind your inner thighs, maybe folding forward a little bit. And just giving yourself another breath. And then inhaling, coming up. Now I'm coming into double pigeon, which is left leg on the bottom, right leg up on top. Now depending on your hips, your knee might be up in the air, or you might notice that your foot doesn't want to go all the way over. If you can get your foot to go over, even if your knee does that, that's better, because this is going to be more stable and supportive for your knees. I need to kind of readjust my butt because I got some booty. And then sitting up tall. Now I'm going to add a twist to it. If you just want to do the traditional, more folding forward, go for it. Or bring your hand, your forearm or your elbow towards your right foot and then roll open. Now I'm doing the elbow, but right now I feel like I can't breathe. So I'm going to go to my forearm. And so, so much better, can roll open. And try not to let adjustments like that get into your head, like you're doing something wrong. Sometimes things just feel better if they're different. That's what she said. Sorry, I couldn't help it. And then come back to the center. Unwind. You might take a little windshield wiper. And then we're just going to take the other leg on top, the left leg on top. Again, ankle over knee, knee over ankle. And you might need to use your hands to do that. I've honestly, been doing that for so long. It feels very natural for me just to let my legs do their thing. But it's funny, bringing my leg into tree, totally need my hand to do it. So you can sit up. Again, I feel like I need to kind of lift and adjust my sits bones, which is a polite way of saying getting my booty fabulousness. I was going to say flesh right there. And then out of the way. And then again, it might be a little forward fold. And then if you want to see how the twist feels, now I already know elbow on this side, not going to happen. So I'll just kind of roll with it and go forearm. The important thing to do is if you can twist or do something a lot different on one side than the other, the side that you feel more spacious, back it off a little bit, and then the side that's really challenged, maybe give it a little extra push. A little. Enough that you feel like you're okay, not that you're stressing yourself out. And then just nice and easy, come back to the center and take a breath here. And then it might just feel good to extend your legs out in front of you, just taking a forward fold. Now normally, I would say to come to lay down on your back for Shavasana, and you totally can. But I'm just going to have a little breathing exercise for the ending meditation. And if you'd rather just kind of tune it out, you're welcome to. So just let your hands turn to face up. And this personally I learned from Alan Finger, who is, I guess is his name. He's a yoga teacher out of New York. It was one of his books that I saw this in. But other teachers may do it, so just I like to give credit where I know I can apply it. So I'm not sure in the video if it's going to be mirror image or not, but you'd want to start with your left hand first. So this is my real left hand. So closing my right hand, take an inhale through the left. Top of the breath, just close your left hand, and then exhale through your right. And then inhale through the right. Close both hands, and then exhale through the left. And then just taking a few more rounds as you're comfortable. It's really just a variation of Nadi Shodhana, the alternate nostril breathing, where you can block your nose, but right now I know my nose won't appreciate that. One more full round. And then maybe open both hands, take a big inhale. Close both hands, hold your breath. And then just exhale. And just a quick, I can't see the timer. I think it's like 20 minutes, it might be 30 minutes, but I hope my little practice this morning gave some benefit to you too. Feel free to message with any questions. No nasty comments, please. Namaste. Getting up, getting ready, going out to see Mom.